I'm Todd Palmer, beat writer for the Kansas City Star, joined today by Mizzou Athletic Director Jim Sterk. Jim, first thing, appreciate your time and coming on today. You've been here, 7, 8 months now? What's the, how do you feel like you're getting settled in here in Columbia now? And what, if anything, has surprised you about these 8 months and this transition?
Well, one thing is just flown by. I can't believe it's 8 months, and it's going to quickly be a year I've been here. But what's fun is the first 6 months just digging in and trying to work through a lot of things, and then now having some momentum going into this spring and summer, where our program right now, overall, our sports are sitting 21st in the country in the Learfield Cup, and no one would think of that when you think about the past year or so, and it's the highest that Mizzou's ever been, and so we're excited about that. But the greatest thing is we haven't hit a ceiling for sure. We've got a lot of sports that have that they're in the process of improving and have a great prospect for the coming year, and then you tie in all that's happened around basketball and spring game, and so we have great momentum, and I'm excited about the future.
When you talk, obviously you just hired Cuonzo Martin as your new basketball coach. When you look forward, coming off of averaging 9 wins the last 3 seasons, I know you weren't here for all of it, but what do you hope to see as soon as next year with this program? I mean, do you want to see them return to a top 25 team immediately, or what do you think is realistic to expect, as Cuonzo takes over one of your signature programs?
Yeah, I think what I like, about Cuonzo is, he's had experience as a head coach at 3 different spots, and so he came in here and hit the ground running, and we've really made great progress on the recruiting front. What is being ranked 200th or whatever, and now we're 10th. Where does that put us in the national scheme as far as how competitive our team is going to be? I don't know, and I don't like to put wins and losses, but I do, with our programs, I think, we can compete for championships. A regular annual goal is to be in the top 25, so I think that's where we all aspire our programs to be, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have that opportunity in this coming year.
What fan reaction to this hire, and what's it been like? I mean, have people expressed, joy that Cuonzo is your new coach, and are you happy with the momentum you've seen? I know you guys started selling season tickets a little bit earlier than usual, and it seems like that's gone well. So do you feel like this program's really got some momentum, even though obviously we haven't seen him on the floor yet?
Yeah, I think what's been really fun is, we've had a couple tough years here, and people were down, and I think what's really cool is seeing people really excited about Mizzou athletics overall, and then specifically they can't wait for football to come, and we have first 4 home games there, and then basketball. I think having the number 1 recruit in the country commit to your program is pretty special, and then to have him recruiting nationally at the McDonald's All-American game, that was one thing I didn't count on. You try to hire the right guy, and Robin Pinchton had told me that Porter's really wanted to come back, and so I knew that was a possibility if it all fell into place, and it started to do that, and then. The one kind of unexpected thing was how good he was at verbalizing about Mizzou and what he felt Mizzou could be, and then communicating and getting others to come. Blake Harris. I was in Durham this past weekend. I see him walking down the mall. I'm waiting for my daughter to come. And so we were just burning time in the mall, just kind of window shopping a little bit. And here comes Blake Harris, comes up, gives me a great big hug, and he said, "Oh, you said you were going to be here, for a wedding," and I said, "Yeah," and then he leaves, and and then 10 minutes later he comes back. My mom wants us to get a picture together. but that's the kind of family and kids that a Michael Porter attracts, and so I think that's really bodes well for the future of what kind of kids we can get here and what kind of program we can have.
So I mean, is there? Obviously, you're an administrator. Your job is to oversee an athletic department. But are you still a fan? Are you still geeking out a little bit, thinking about watching Michael Porter Jr. do his thing at Mizzou Arena next year?
I was not around for his high school days to see, and so Robin said, just YouTube, Google him and see, and I did, and then it was like, oh my gosh, this guy. What great skills, the type of player he is. So I was excited about the possibility once I saw him on tape, and then I watched a little the McDonald's All-American game, and he gets MVP, and so that can get you excited about watching the player.
Yeah, no, I was there.
And a team. Yeah. Oh, you were there. Oh, that's great.
I was up in Chicago. You mentioned Robin Pennington told you the Porters were interested in coming back. What was the timing on that? When did she let you?
It was towards the end of the season, and I was just talking about where men's basketball was, and she said, and we had heard that from other friends of theirs in the community that they really want to come back, and you just it was out there. It was kind of noise out there. But when Robin, the aunt of the players, they want to come back, that would be that was important. So.
Was that a consideration in hiring Cuonzo at all, or
just that I knew if we had somebody with credibility and had coached on that level, that we had a great shot at getting the Porters come back.
Did you? I mean, I'm sure you told Cuonzo, hey, but you didn't
no,
dictate that he had to hire.
No, there wasn't anything like that, and he had already. He had already been doing his homework, so he was probably 5 steps ahead.
I was gonna say, Cuonzo seems smart enough to have put those pieces together. Well, what is now when you look at the other signature program that you have? I mean, the 2 revenue sports. Football, you've got a coach that you didn't hire. That coming off of a 4-8 season where they finished with some momentum, winning 2 of the last 3, but they really struggled at times last year. What's your relationship like with Barry Odom?
It's really good. I think I've been impressed with him and just how he handled the kids, the players, both wins and how they handled with losses and how they were going to learn, and I think I knew going into that season as you got a new head coach, new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator. That's tough, and you're in the SEC. That's a tough deal. And so I think for us to really have him get settled in, and it takes a while for the team. You give them a new offense and a new defense, and so it takes a while. And so it's very rare where a first-year offensive coordinator has great success. We move the ball a lot, but then defensively I think it wasn't where Barry wanted, and so I think we'll take a big jump. I think the players are ready to take a big jump, and they're gonna compete for a title, and that's what their goal is. So I'm excited about that.
So you're predicting an SEC's title?
I
this
didn't
year?
say that. I said that's what their goal is, and mine too.
What was his reaction to the Cuonzo Martin hiring though? Because obviously. When you bring somebody in, and obviously Cuonzo has more experience than Barry did when he came in, but you bring somebody in at a higher salary, and stuff like that, in a program that hasn't had as much success recently. Is there a delicate dance that takes place, I guess, when you're sitting in your seat when you make decisions like those?
And I addressed it with all the head coaches that our goal is to at least be competitive in the SEC with salaries, and so to be at least in the mid range. And I said, but we have to build our revenues back up, and we've fallen off in football and basketball, and so we need to get that momentum back and selling tickets and support and all. So I can't do it right now, but that's my goal with it, and that's talk to everyone that way, and talk to Barry. And we've got work to do on the football coaching salaries and all, but I think they're going to have success, and that'll allow us to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it looks the optics of giving a coach a raise after a 4-8 season would be a little wonky, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a little difficult to do.
Yeah. Real quick on the stadium, is it the South Endzone complex? Is that still on track for approval in June? Is there anything that could maybe derail this?
No, it's got great momentum, and it'll be. I think they're going to discuss it in June and July, and so I don't know whether they're going to approve it in June or in July. But it's on track to, and there's weekly meetings on programming and design, and with that whole design team. So they're that thing's moving along, and they've hired the general contractor and all that stuff. So it's continuing to move along fine.
Is it still? I know there was some talk that you might be able to demo that Endzone in August and kind of get that process started. They
felt they didn't need to. So, and that came from both the architects and the contractors. So they feel the construction timeline can fit in so that we will demolish it after this coming season.
Okay, so wait till November to break ground.
I think that'll be after the first of the year.
Because you're getting into winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's they feel like it's a 13-14 month construction period, so it'll just be the South Endzone will be out of commission one season.
Okay, so then it's still planning to try to have it open by 2019.
Yep.
Is that? I mean, have you reached your fundraising target for that? Because I know you kind of had to revisit it when you changed the scope of the project to more of a $95 million project.
We don't have it done yet, and the Board of Curators, they are always, the more we can raise, the better off we are, because then, and it helps us operationally, our annual operations, because the more we can fundraise, the more then the revenue from that South Endzone can be dedicated to operations, annual operations. So that's, the goal. We've got work to do there, and we're continuing to work on that, and people have been really, really supportive.
Are you still about $50 million raised so far?
Close to that right now.
Okay, that's enough to go forward, right?
It is. Yeah.
But what would be
the stronger? What
would be
a goal for us is to get at least 8 or 10 more million in there.
Okay.
In our financing plans.
So about 60% financed would be pretty comfortable.
And that's kind of opposite of what East Endzone is not that way. I think they bonded most of it.
That was all debt financing.
Yeah, it was all debt financing. So the more we can do, the stronger it makes the case for it.
Yeah. What it's been a few months since the academic scandal kind of erupted, and where are you guys at in that process? We've been told that you met with the former tutor in January. I mean, are you guys still in the investigation stage, or are you moving toward any kind of closure with that?
I think it's still a ways away from closure. I don't know that timeline, but I think as far as I think there's still interviews and things like that going on, so it's still ongoing. Are you
guys still trying to interview, like, former student athletes?
Just different people from.
So I mean, is it starting to come into focus at all? Like the scope of this?
And now you're going down the road. You're smirking at me. So I can't say anything.
No, I got to ask though, Jim. I got to ask. So I mean, so this is probably not going to be resolved. Anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's? I mean, we've seen this North Carolina thing drag out for 10 years.
Hopefully, it's not 4 years or whatever that time frame is. I would be hopeful that it could be done within the next 6 months, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So, and you don't have a sense yet, like how damaging it could potentially be, or are you starting to get a sense that this may have been more isolated?
Again, as you smirk at me as you ask the question, I cannot comment on that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the basketball program, they come off probation, in August?
Yeah, I think that's done, yeah.
Yeah, and so, okay, so is there any concern that because this happened during a period of time when the basketball team was on probation, that any of this could be intertwined, or is this viewed as more of a departmental issue as opposed to specific teams.
I can tell you that it's not a specific. It's not specific to a team. This is this is an issue that we're just dealing with. Yeah.
Okay.
Specific.
So. What's your favorite thing about Columbia so far? Getting a little bit lighter note. I mean, you've been here 8 months. You've got to have a favorite restaurant or a favorite thing to do, things like that. I mean, what's going to keep you in Columbia longer than a year, Jim?
Yeah, I do really like the people. It's been and maybe it's coming from Southern California where everyone's doing their own thing and it's busy and there's 5 million people in just San Diego County that I lived in and it's more of getting back to the kind of area that I was used to growing up and being a part of in different college towns and. It's living in a college town, living around people that care about the university, that care about the community and the state, and so it's kind of fun and to be a part of something special. I think like Mizzou athletics, I enjoy that, and that's what gets me up in the morning. And we just had our Roarers event last night, and that's where you get to see the best of the best, where the kids that are playing Division I sports, and then they're receiving awards and doing some special things with community service and things like that. So it's those things are always fun for me, and I think things that I enjoy doing. I bought a bike and I've been on the MKT trail and the Katy trail, and Marcy Graham, the chair of the board of curators, gave me his schedule of how to do across the state on the Katy trail, and that's I may start with 2 days, not a full 5 days. I'm not a big biker, so I'd like to do a part of it and then see how it goes and then maybe tackle it.
Yeah. Are you going to get a motorcycle, go riding with Gary down the lake?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
I used to have one, though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, what kind?
Oh, it was just a little Honda 350, but nothing like that. Nothing like the big bikes.
Yeah, not a full-on hog.
No.
I would like to see, I do, I mean, the image of Jim Sterk in chaps with a helmet, like, roaring down the road. It's a different picture than I think Mizzou fans are used to.
Yeah, wild hogs.
All right. Jim, thank you so much for your time.